All right, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for attending the session virtually via online. So if you can hear me, just type number one in the chat box, my dear friends. And if you can see the screen, you can just type number two in the chat box. Okay, so just type number one if you can hear me, and just type number two if you can see the screen. Okay, so this is to make sure that all of us are on the same page. Okay, so today, welcome everyone. Welcome to the session. Welcome to COE. So today's session will focus on Looker Studio because, like when you talk about Power BI, Tableau, SQL, dashboard in Excel, so now there's a new thing. I think since about 2 years ago, we have a dashboard which is called as Looker Studio. Not to say alternative, but it can actually connect data from Google Sheet. What you're looking right now is you're looking at a Google Sheet which is named raw data and also have a worksheet called raw data. And in this particular worksheet, you have sports company, date, state, area, malls, product, price per unit, and also you do have the quantity sold. So what I'm trying to show to all of you is how we can actually produce visual, not in Power BI, but in Looker Studio. So what you can actually do is you can actually type Google Lookup Studio in your Google search. So let me just show you how I do it. So I'm going to go to a new tab and I'm going to type here Looker Studio. Okay, Looker Studio. So I just press enter. Once I press enter, so over here we have Looker Studio overview and I'm going to click it over here. So once I click it over here, you will notice that it will go to this Looker Studio. It's a similar interface like how you see Google Sheet. Okay, it's just a similar interface. So in this case, I want to create a blank report. So I'm going to click it over here. Once I click blank report, of course, when you are new, you need to just put your name and you need to press your email and so on. So in this case, since I have opened a new report, okay, maybe let me repeat one more time so that everyone can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type Looker Studio. Okay, and I'm going to click on this link over here and press enter. So once you press this link, you need to make sure that you have a Gmail or any company related mail that can be connected to your Gmail. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this blank report. Okay, maybe this one I can just remove. I remove this and I open this blank report. Once I open this blank report, you will notice that they will ask you which file you want to choose. Because like in Power BI, we can actually choose import data from Excel, PDF, and so on. The same thing, we can actually connect it from Google Sheet or Microsoft Excel. So in this case, my file is located in a Google Sheet. So that is why I want to choose Google Sheet over here. So once you choose Google Sheet, they will ask you what files you have. So for example, if just say you created a file, so the file that I have is, the name is raw data. So the file that I have over here is raw data. So I'm going to go to the raw data and the worksheet under the raw data is also known as raw data because this is the worksheet. Like how Power BI, we select the file, we select the worksheet. The same thing, we select the raw data over here and then we press add. Once you press add, you will notice that they will automatically import the data from the Google Sheet. When they import the data, you will notice over here we have area, date, malls, price per unit, products, quantity sold, and so on. So this is the fields or basically the header or columns of your data. So if you look here carefully, my dear friends, here we have the area. So if just say I want to know what is the sales performance from January up to December.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
So can you just start from bit starting? Actually, I just missed actually.
Okay, no problem. So I will just show you
Thank
one
you.
more time. Yeah, no problem.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for your question. Okay, so I'll just go to a new tab. Okay, I'll repeat again. Thanks for your question. So to answer your question, so first thing is you can go to a new tab. Make sure you have a Gmail or any related office mail that relating to your Google Mail, Gmail, or Google Workspace. Then you go to your interface over here and you just type on Looker Studio. So once you type Google Looker Studio, you can just type it like a normal Google search. So you go to Looker Studio and then over here, you can just click on Looker Studio Overview. So once you click it over here, you will notice that you will be navigated. It's just like how you see Google Worksheets, Google Sheets, Google Docs. The same thing, this is the interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this blank report over here because I want to create a new report. So just like how you create a new worksheet in Excel, a new Power BI, the same thing, you click on blank report over here. Once you click blank report, you will notice that they will ask you which is your data source, or they call it as Google Connector. So in this case, my data source, the original source is a name called Google Sheet. The name of the worksheet is called raw data, and the name of the tab is called raw data. So I'm going to go to this untitled report over here, and I'm going to press Google Sheets. Why I press Google Sheet? Because my original file is located in Google Sheet. So I'm going to press it over here. Once I press Google Sheet, so if you have so many spreadsheets, maybe like you can be inventory listing, can be payable, supplier payment, so there will be a lot of files over here. But apparently in this particular spreadsheet, I only have one file, which is raw data, this file over here. So I'm going to click on this raw data file, and I'm going to click on this particular worksheet called raw data worksheet. Why the name appear here raw data? Because if you look carefully over here, the name of this tab or the name of this worksheet is called raw data. So I'm going to go to this untitled report, click on raw data, and then of course use the first row as header, because the first row will automatically be a header, and it will also include any hidden and filtered cells. So I'm going to press here add.
Sorry
Once
to
I
interrupt.
press, go
Is
ahead.
it being recorded?
Yes, it's being recorded, it's being live streamed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so thanks for your question. So now I'll try to proceed. I'll try to show to you. So if you notice carefully, on your right hand side, we do have a data pane. A data pane over here, we do have area, date, malls, price per unit, and all other fields or all other columns. So what are these particular header referring to? If you look carefully, in your first step, we do have a database. This is a database regarding a sales report of a sports product in all the shopping malls in Malaysia. So we do have the sports company, the date, the state, the area, price per unit, and quantity sold. So similarly, since we have all the headers over here, so that is why your data pane over here, it will pop out all these worksheet and also all the header. So here, this white color screen over here is a place where you can actually produce visuals. So for example, if you just say, I want to produce a visual that shows monthly performance, monthly report. So we do have a date column. So when you have a date column, you can produce quarterly report, monthly report. But what I want to do is I want to actually show the revenue, because if you look here carefully, we do have price per unit and we do have quantity sold. So my dear friends, if you look here we have a column named price per unit. So one unit, maybe you can put about $40, 40 rupees, and over here is about 450 quantities, 450 units. So what we do is we need to multiply, because one unit is equivalent to 40. If 450, we need to multiply. So in this case, I can go to untitled report. Since we don't have a dedicated column for revenue, we can actually add a new field. Adding a new field means we can add a column. So before I proceed, my dear friends, maybe in the chat box, can you type number 1 if you can see the word add a field? Can you see this? Maybe you can type number 1 if you can see. So thanks guys for typing number 1. So over here, add a field is where you can add a new column or can add a new calculated column. So what I want to do is I want to actually add a new column saying that to calculate the revenue. So add a field over here. You will notice we have add bin, add group, add calculated field. In this case, I don't want to create a group. I don't want to create any bins. I just want to create a new calculation. So I'm going to click on add calculated field. Once I click add calculated field, you will notice that this pane will appear. So what is the field name? I want to calculate basically the revenue. So I'm going to write here total revenue. So how to calculate total revenue? It starts with your price. So price per unit, you need to multiply. So I'm going to press the asterisk or shift 8. So when you press shift 8, it becomes the asterisk. Normally in Excel or any calculation in the software, we just use asterisk as a multiply. We want to multiply with your quantity sold. So price per unit multiply with quantity sold. And then what I do is I press save. When I press save, you will notice that automatically you will have your revenue over here. Okay, so let me press finish. So over here, you will notice there is total revenue. So your total revenue is basically the multiplication is the product of price per unit and quantity sold. So what I want to show right now is, I want to show a monthly performance from January up to December. So if you want to create a visual, you can go to this insert ribbon over here and you can click over here. So we have time series chart, vertical bar chart, and many different visuals. So for example, if just say you want time series chart, I click it over here and I can just draw anywhere I want. So this is the time series chart, and automatically they will try to actually produce a default visual whereby you have a dimension called date and the metric called record count. But just bear in mind, my intention is I want to show to my manager monthly report. Monthly report means got the January, February up to December. But I want to show by sales, not by record count. So what you can do is you can drag the total revenue and you can put it over here. Okay, you can put it over here. So over here you'll notice that it will show you your total revenue. But I don't want to show my data like a stock market, whereby this is not a share price. Maybe what if just say I want to show by month. So over here we do have a dimension. So this is our date column which represent the x-axis. If you notice carefully, we have a edit feature over here. If you can see this edit feature, can you type number 2 in the chat box? Over here, there's an edit feature. So thank you friends for typing number 2. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click on edit feature. And I don't want the date. Instead, what I'll do is, I click on the date and I go date and time. So up to you whether you want to choose quarter or you want to choose month. In this case, I want to choose year and month. So I've just pressed year, month, and what you will notice is over here they will show the performance of monthly performance. January, February, March up to December. So up to you whether you want a time series chart. But what if you don't really like a time series chart? You can go over here. We do have chart types. So in these chart types over here, you can click expand. We have many different visuals. Either you want time series chart or either you want a vertical bar chart. So my dear friends, can you see a vertical bar chart? Maybe can you type number 3 in the chat box? So vertical bar chart means it will appear like a columns, like a bar, whereby you have January, February, March, but until October. Okay, so the thing is, my data, if I go to my raw data, I have January. Okay, if you look over here, I have January. And when I scroll down, I have until December. But why my data only show January up to October? Well, you need to do some adjustment over here. Because if you look carefully, in this data over here, let me just scroll up. Maybe I just collapse this. So we do have setup. We do have style. So I go to the style. So under the style, here you'll notice got only 10 bars. Because January up to October, we have 10 months. So that is why we have 10 bars over here. Since here got 10, that's why we have 10 bars. So if just see I put here 12 and enter, you will notice we have an additional bar which is December. So you can actually play around over here. So if just say you change maybe about 5. So when you change to 5, over here you will have from January up to May. Okay, so this is normally by default. If just say you want to show top 10 performance or you want to show the top 5 performance, you can adjust over here. So whether you want to do in a horizontal way or you want to do in a vertical way, up to you. So in 1 year, we have 12 months. So I'm going to put here 12 and enter. So this is 12 months. But what if just say I don't like blue color, I want to change color. So you can actually change the color over here, clicking here. And you can choose any color you want, up to you. And if you want to show data labels, you can click data labels over here. So that over here, it will show you your data labels. So what is compact numbers? Compact numbers is basically showing the short form. Because some cases, your manager is not interested to see the full form. So you can actually enable the compact numbers. So automatically, it will appear in this format, whereby 16.6 million, 6.2 M, 6 M. But if just say you want your data bar to be located outside, you can just scroll down. So here the bar label position is below. You can actually put it above. Putting above, it will appear at the top, or putting below will appear at the under the bar. Okay, at the inside end. So right now, my manager is able to see what is the monthly performance from January up to December. And you can actually scroll down. whether you want to create a new referral lines. So for example, I add a reference lines, and these reference lines up to me whether I just want to show maybe, you know, any constant value, or perhaps I want to have a metric. Okay, so maybe I want to know the average. So here we have like an average line. So over here, you notice there is a reference line. Maybe I need to do one more time so that to make everyone understand. So over here, under the style, we have reference line. So under reference line, we have a category called add a reference line. So sometimes we do have a ceiling price, a KPI, a target that we need to meet. So in this case, I don't have a proper target. Maybe I want to see the average performance. So I click add a average line, and over here, instead of a constant value equivalent to 0, I can actually go here and choose metric. When I choose a metric, so automatically it will pop out a average line over here. So what we can actually deduce is we do have a sales report from January up to December. However, January, April, June, September, October are the only months where exceeded the average sales. Or you can actually change accordingly. Maybe you want median, or maybe you want perhaps minimum, up to you. So we have the minimum, and we can also choose the max and so on. So it's actually up to your requirement. So now we can actually get to understand that how Looker Studio can actually produce visuals. But now let me show you, even in Looker Studio, you can also have slicer. So where is the slicer? You can go to insert over here. We have an insert ribbon. So under insert, we have like a table, bubble map, scorecard. But what I want to show to everyone is the slicer. So basically over here, we have like a drop down list, size list, input, slider, and we also have date range control. So in some cases, maybe I want to know the performance of maybe from January 1st to maybe April 1st. So I can click on date range control. So if you look here carefully, I can actually draw anywhere. Maybe I can draw over here. So I can just click the data range. So our data falls on December 2024. So I can click here. I can choose on 2024 and I click on December. And in this case, I can do the same. I choose 2024. But what if just say I want to know October 1st? So October 1st, and I press apply. So automatically, you will notice we have the performance of October, November, December. But if just say you want to know the performance maybe from January 1st, maybe up to August 30th. So you can click over here. So I want to know when. I want to know perhaps on January 1st. So I click here. I choose 2024. I choose January. I choose 1st. So I press apply. And this one over here, I click here. So this one, I'm going to choose perhaps, okay, not fix. I just want to choose a different day. Okay, maybe not minus. Let me just change. Last 7 days and so on. This one I'll just do later. Okay, so what we can actually understand is we can actually prepare dates and so on. So now this is a slicer, but what if just say you are not interested in preparing such slicer? You want to have a different slicer. So you want to actually you can actually delete this. You can press delete and you can go to insert over here. So under insert, we have also drop down list. So drop down list is similar like how Excel we have the combo box, and in Power BI we have the drop down list. The same thing. I can click the drop down list and I can draw over here. So this is dedicated for the drop down list. I can go to the setup. So over here the control field is date. So I don't want date. So I just do what? I go to products and I put it over here. So right now your control field will, or your slicer will be dedicated for products. So just say I unselect products, I select men's apparel. So you will notice there will be some changes over here. And if just say I don't want men's apparel, I want to choose maybe women's apparel. So I'll select all, select women apparel, and also select men athletic footwear. So I double select. So now it will show you two data, women's apparel and also men's athletic footwear. So this is how you can actually produce your data. So the next thing is I also can show you that in this Looker Studio, we do have tree map. What is tree map? I can go to insert over here and automatically we do have tree map over here. So I can click here tree map and I can draw somewhere over here. So automatically here will show me tree map. But this is not beautiful because the tree map is based on the dimension of date. Dimension means is based on what category. I don't want based on date. Instead, maybe I want to base on sports company. So I drag the sports company, put it over here. So automatically it will change by sports company. So this is how it looks like. And if just say you want to change the color, you can go down. Either you want to choose dimension. Dimension means you have many different colors, or you only want a single color. A single color based on metric. So you can go to style. So over here we do have the coloring. So maybe maximum I want green color. So I can choose green color. Mid color I want yellowish. And the minimum I want reddish, something like this. Yeah, so this is how your manager can see the data. So we can actually see the performance of the sports company, who is the highest and so on. And if they say you want to know about maybe a bar chart, or perhaps maybe a pie chart and so on, so what I'm going to do is I want to actually select all. Okay, the data labels, we can actually select the labels over here. We can actually try, because I haven't figured it out yet, but it's actually somewhere around here. Aishwarya, we can actually add data label, but I didn't figure it out how we can actually add data label over here. Okay, Aishwarya? Okay, so we can also try to include pie chart as well. So what we can do is we can actually go to insert, and we can actually choose. So we have pie chart over here. And the beauty is we can actually customize our pie chart. Meaning to say I can actually draw a pie chart over here. So this is a dedicated pie chart. The thing about this Looker Studio is they will give you a default pie chart based on date. But in reality, we don't want a pie chart dedicated for date. Maybe we want a pie chart dedicated for products. So I'm going to drag the products and put it over here. So now we do have a pie chart based on products. And of course, if just say you don't want the percentage or you want to customize it, you can go to style. Style is where you can always customize. So you go to style, and over here you can just adjust. By adjusting, you can actually separate the padding, or you can also create a radius. So this is a radius and so on. Okay, and if just say you want to change the coloring and so on, you can actually go down and you can change the coloring. So this is how you can actually play around with your data. Okay, maybe a single color, or maybe dimension values, up to you. Okay, so now we do have a visual. So now we have the tree map. Here we have a pie chart. Here we do have a monthly report. We can also create cards. Cards means I can go to insert, and I can scroll down. When I scroll down, you will notice that we can actually create card. So where is your card? Let me show you. So over here we do have scorecard. So can you see scorecard? If you can see, maybe can you type number 6 in the chat box, my dear friends? Okay, thank you friends for typing number 6. So maybe your manager want to see the total revenue and maybe the number of transaction. So I can click the scorecard over here. So this scorecard, it will show me the total revenue. So the total revenue from January up to December is about 120 million. But if just say I want to know the number of transaction, so what I do is I go and press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I just adjust over here. So here we do have a card for revenue. Here I want to show maybe the number of transaction. So I go to setup, and I click here. Instead of the sum of revenue, I want to show maybe perhaps the number of transaction. So instead of sum, I will choose count. So when I click count, automatically it will count the number of revenue. But over here, I don't want the word display name. Instead, I want to show number of transaction. There you go. So this is how you can play your data around. So you have a slicer, and yeah, you can just click around. So if just say I want a slicer for men's street footwear. So I just click like that. So here we have the data changes accordingly. But if just say I just choose for all, then you will notice it changes dynamically. So this is how your data looks like. So if you want to bring down also can. So maybe I just adjust this. Okay, so this one also I adjust. And yep, this also I adjust accordingly. Okay. Because up here, I want to create a title. So if you want to create a title, you can just create a text box over here. And the text box I just draw. Okay, so maybe I put here sales performance report in Malaysia. Okay, and I just extend the size. And if you want to increase the size, you highlight all, and you can increase the size over here. Maybe I put here 36. Yeah. Okay, it's too big, never mind. Not here, sorry. Wait, let me just see where's the size. Okay, there you go. Again, wait, let me just click over here and 36. Okay. So if just say you want to middle align, you can go middle align. So this is middle align and so on. So you can actually change the coloring and so on. You want to change the background. Maybe I put dark blue. So we have a dark blue background. And if you want to change the font color, you can just change the font color over here. Boom, there you go. So maybe I need to highlight and just change the font. All right. So this is how the report looks like. And just to let you know, if just say you want to rename, you don't have to save the file, because the thing about Google Sheet and Looker Studio, it will be saved automatically. Because now if just say I put here sales report. Okay, sales report. So next time when I add a new tab, I can go to Looker Studio. I'm going to go here. And when I go to my Looker Studio over here, you will notice that we do have a sales report over here. If you notice, the sales report saved at started at 10:45 last open by. So this is the report actually you have. So the thing about this Looker Studio is it will save automatically, and it is actually useful, especially if your raw data is from Google Sheet or any Google Workspace. And also we can actually import data from Microsoft Excel. I haven't ventured out that, but now this is the thing that I'm showing to you, how we can actually create a dashboard in Looker Studio. So my friends, any
Hello.
questions? Yes, go ahead.
Sir, if this Google Sheet is, if it gets updated, like new data are being added, so the similarly it is like on the parallelly this like dashboard also will be updated, like, or we need to work on it. Like, I'm just asking.
All right, no worries. Okay, just say I want to experiment. Okay, to try your experiment. What if just say we want make a changes? So for example, if just say I press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you
Or
notice
we can
carefully,
or we
yes,
can add number of like if the line items are 200, or we can add more 30 or more 40. So I'm asking that that it will be updated in this Google, this
yeah,
sheet.
it should be, yes, it should be updated eventually.
Oh,
Yeah, eventually will be updated. You can actually click, but I haven't ventured out yet, but yeah, it can be updated eventually. Yes, to answer your question, yeah, eventually it can be updated, but it's just that I haven't ventured yet. But yeah, any addition, any data, it can be updated. Yes. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, we can actually create a pivot table. So there's a question in the chat box. Can we create pivot table and make a chart of it? So for example, if I add a new page, so now we do have this one, page 1. Okay, so maybe I'll just change this to page 1. Okay, page 1. And we have a new page. So like what? If just say I want to create a pivot table. So when I want to create a pivot table, insert over here, we have pie chart and we also have pivot table. So pivot table automatically by default, they will have their own version of pivot table. They will create for you, but we can actually customize accordingly. So if just say you want to know perhaps by sports company and products, you can go to setup. So over here we have sports company, we do have the state, we do have the metric. So the metric basically I want total revenue. I can put the total revenue over here. Okay, so like this, and it will appear as total revenue. And if just say I want to know sports company by perhaps product, so I can just click the product and just click it over here. Okay, so just link and automatically it will show me the sports company by product. Of course, it's loading. So there you go. So to answer your question, Aishwarya, this is actually how you can actually play around. So you have the sports company, you have this thing. And of course, if you want a chart, you can actually create a chart. So automatically here we have a pivot table and so on. So you want, if just say you want to change your layout, can we create a word cloud in my office? This one I'm not well versed, but I'm not sure if we can create a word cloud, because this is the first time. I think after 5th time I'm trying, but maybe I can try later to see how there's a word cloud requirement. I'm not sure yet, but I think I can try and work out for you, Aishwarya. Okay, so just to let you know, here we can change the theme, because it doesn't have to be a plain white. we can go to the theme and layout, and we can change to any color we want. So here will be a plain grayish. Okay, so automatically we have a gray data over here, or you can actually choose dark colors, or maybe a yellowish color. Okay, so if something yellowish, it's up to you. So this is actually Looker Studio. Looker Studio, if I'm not wrong, it has been introduced a few years ago, 2023, 2022. But it has been widely used, I mean slowly, in Malaysia. I don't know about India, but actually you can actually experiment and so on. But I get the questions, like what if they say we add new rows, or what if they say we have made changes, will it update? Well, I haven't come across it yet, but I think once I come across, then perhaps I can actually update you in the upcoming session. So yeah, anyone with any questions? So it's automatically saved. But if just say you want to save as PDF, you can go here and you can share. So you can click the share over here, and it's up to you whether you want to share to anyone, or you can actually go here, view, and you want to view as in a PDF, up to you. So here, so I can press here, and here you can download as PDF. Yes, this is free, because Looker Studio, as long you have a Gmail, then it is free. So anyone with any questions? So this is in PDF. So we can actually download in PDF, and maybe we can send the hard copy. So I think if there's no questions, then maybe I'll see you when I'm see you.
A quick question, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I thought we have an what advantages that Looker have over Power BI, Tableau and all? Because we have all those running, right? I mean, what advantages or like how would
Yeah,
I
I got your
say?
question. Okay, so to answer your question, thank you for your question. You want to know the comparison between Power BI, you want to know the comparison between Tableau and so on. There's Looker Studio, there's ClickSense. Okay, so I'm going to write this
Yeah.
down to actually to make you understand. We have Power BI, we have Tableau, okay, we have Looker Studio, and of course there's others, the other interface as well, like ClickSense and so
Yeah,
on.
click
Okay,
view, yeah, a lot of other
and yeah.
things.
So right now, Power BI is basically cheaper compared to Tableau, because Tableau is more expensive. However, when it talks about Looker Studio, it is free of charge, but there is also some payments, okay, free of charge. Like you see, when you talk about Power BI, of course, Power BI desktop is free. But when you talk about Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, you need to make some payment. So in Tableau, you need to pay money. So right now, we need to see by cost. The second thing is, when we talk about data cleaning, when it comes to Power BI, we do have a feature called Power Query, which enables to clean the data from a messy data to a more structured tabular data. However, in Looker Studio, there is no data cleaning. So you need to actually perform data cleaning in your worksheet itself. You need to make sure your original data is clean. So there is no platform for data cleaning. Now, when we talk about ease of using, that means user friendly. When it comes to user friendly, of course, Tableau also is user friendly. And the same thing goes to Power BI. So user friendly. But connection to Workspace, Google Workspace, Looker Studio has the advantage where it is able to connect directly to Google Workspace, like Google Sheet and so on. So to answer your question, so this is the answers you can see. So when it comes to cost, of course, Looker Studio and Power BI is a better alternative. When it comes to data cleaning, of course, Power BI has the best alternative. User friendly, of course, both Power BI and Tableau. But when it comes to connection to Google Workspace, Looker Studio has the advantage. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, that sounds good. A follow-up question, like
Yeah, go ahead.
how? Yeah, sorry. So how? Like how much percentage of the people or in the industry is using Looker Studio versus Power BI and Tableau? Like, do you have any Gartner chart for that?
Oh, I don't have any raw data. I don't know how's things in India. Actually, by the way, I'm from Malaysia though. I mean, if I can be honest, Looker Studio is suitable for companies that does data reporting in Google Sheet. In Google Sheet. But to answer
Okay.
your question, some companies they do in software, some companies they do in Excel. So if you are an Excel user, of course, these three works. These three Power BI also can, Tableau also can, Looker Studio. But Looker Studio is suitable for Google Sheets.
Google
So there
Sheets.
are
Okay.
companies that prefer Google Sheet. Why? Because when you talk about Microsoft, whether it's Microsoft Team, Microsoft Excel, they need to pay. Companies have to pay subscription to subscribe to Microsoft. But however, when it comes to Google, it's cheaper. So they don't have to pay a big fee compared to Microsoft. So that is why for companies that using extensively on Google Sheet, Google Workspace, they will try to actually use on Looker Studio. But it's not much, but it's fewer.
Okay. So, I mean, I believe instead of going for Microsoft Office, if we have a Google Office, like Google Sheets, then
Workspace,
it's
yeah.
better to, yeah, okay. Then
Correct.
it's better to use Looker. Okay.
Looker Studio.
Got it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. So to answer Aishwarya question, yes, Aishwarya, we need to actually do data cleaning in the original source itself, because Power BI have a feature called Power Query, which can actually help us to perform data cleaning. However, when it talks about Looker Studio, there is no dedicated interface or dedicated platform for us to perform data cleaning. So to answer your question, we need to actually structure our data first, clean our data first before we load to go Looker Studio. Did I answer your question, Aishwarya? All right. So if you have questions, you can ask. If no questions, then I will see you when I see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.